But isn't like the internet just full of adults training kids in smut?
The Matt Miller Real Podcast. The Matt Miller Real Podcast.
This is a terrible place to do this right now. I was doing it somewhere else and there was just a guy staring at me in his car. I can't even get the follow preview. Camera's so low on the ground. I'm just on the sidewalk. It's good to be in the public, in the podcasting space, just talking to myself aloud. It's strong. You can catch me in a day sometimes, just out there talking to myself in public now. That's the big thing on the cast, me wandering around. I gotta stop repeating this shit. I got a water in my back pocket. I get real thirsty on days like this, summer days outside. How we all feeling about that? We live in a strong life. There's just a water bottle on the ground over there. And, you ever see, what's that movie, American Beauty, with the plastic bag in the air, supposed to mean something, And now there's just a water bottle over here. Is that a good reference for you guys to watch? Have you ever seen that movie? I haven't seen that movie in years. I remember liking it. Wait, Kevin Spacey's in that, right? He's a problematic guy. I still like the movie. How do you feel about that? Maybe I won't like it if I watch it now, but I liked it when I did watch it years ago. So I'm going to say I still liked it. You ever rewatch a movie and be like, this movie's actually garbage? I mean, I guess if you watch a lot of movies you watched as a kid, some of them still hold up, but some of them don't. It's interesting. I'm doing this on the street in the public, and I had a friend that moved in somewhere nice, and they're like asking about like shooting videos in the building. They're like, absolutely no influencers will shoot videos. We have a no influencer policy, because it was like annoying the tenants having to walk out to all these young people doing influencing things. So like the hotel adopted a no influencer policy, even though it has all these nice shit in it. All this nice shit in it. Like a living room area, a kitchen area, like a business area, all kinds of things where you could shoot nice sketches. But yeah, I thought that was a funny story, but he's still going to sneak in sketches. No influencer policy. You got to break the rules. We're doing art here. It's about breaking the rules. I'm looking every way. Got people coming at me at all sides. Can't be saying shit with a little kid walking by, adult being like, you're training my kids in smut. But isn't like the internet just full of adults training kids in smut? It's just all adults posting things and then other adults letting their kids use the internet and seeing these things. And then they grow up too fast. And stuff like that. I like ending things with and stuff like that, like I'm a real smart guy. This building has a nice private property sign. No soliciting, no loitering, no littering, no trespassing. But I'm in the front on the sidewalk, so what are they going to do, I'm sure no one's actually worried about that right now. Are you? What are you worried about? Are you worried about saying the wrong thing and getting in trouble all day? Well, what you need is, they should do a social media for people that want to say bad stuff, and it makes it think they're going out to the public, but it hides it. That way you think you're spreading your mess. Maybe that's actually what's happening to some of us. You don't know. I'm just like everyone else here on the New York streets, trying to make it in show business. Just go in the street with a microphone, talk to the people. That's real entertainment. People want to watch that content. I'm actually not talking to anyone. I'm just talking in between people, and sometimes while people go by, How do you guys feel about things? And there's no one. I'm talking to an endless entity. When I say that, I'm an endless entity. That's how I refer to my audience. It's it could be endless. New humans show up. People listen to the same music they did from, the past centuries ago. People listen to the same songs, and that's endless entities of feeling. So maybe the podcast will live on, the endless entities. No, I forget even the point I was making here. You know what? Forget anything I was just saying. I just think it's silly I'm out here. Like I'm trying to spread a message. Now I feel so tough. Like there's no one around for blocks. I got this opening free of pure airspace. I would hate to interrupt someone with this. What else? There's pigeons over here trying to dominate each other, trying to see who's the best fucking pigeon, who's going to fuck the other pigeons to fucking death because there's going to fuck monster. See, this is why I wait. And there's a guy right there looking at me. I was trying to think of the quickest, smuttiest thing I could say, and that's what you get. And then everyone looks. And you know what? Creating quality entertainment. There's been a lot of street podcasts, to be honest, but there hasn't been one as good as this one. This is the Matt Miller Real Podcast. On the street, and sometimes inside. I don't know, guys. What's your favorite animal? I'm not going to tell you mine. I haven't came to the decision yet. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm a big dog guy. I like a dog. I like to pet him. And, it just feels right having them around. We did good making these dogs as humans. They're very sweet creatures. Sweet little guys. So that's why I'm recommending that you all donate to, dog charities. I think it's nice to maybe pause a podcast, talk about dog charities. Donate to a pup is what I say. Donate to a pup. Now, I didn't look up any charities, and I think most charities are probably fucking, schemes, right? To be very, what would you call it, cynical about things. But, maybe the dog ones aren't. I bet the dog ones are the most ethical because, they're little dogs. So they're like, well, we can't be stealing from the pups. You'd hate to see a person steal from the pups. Has that ever been a movie where there's like a dog adoption place that's like stealing money from the pups somehow? You could write that. That'd be a big animation. Kids would eat that shit up. Paw Patrol, they like that shit. They like this shit. The story writes itself. Child author. A guy that writes kids' books. An adult man that writes books for children. I'm a child author. I guess someone's got to do it. These kids got to do some kind of reading. Someone's got to read these. Somebody's got to teach these kids how to fucking read. Where's all these child authors nowadays? Oh, well, there's still tons of them. I guess J.K. Rowling's a child author. What a controversial author. Stephen King, I guess, is a child author, right? His books are for, like, teens. Child author. It just is a funny term to me. You know a child masseuse? There's, like, adult people that massage children. Don't like that. All right, guys, I'm currently moving. I'm going to move my spot here. I thought I had a good spot, but I'm going to change it. I have a lot to say right now. There's a lot of birds chirping. We're trying to let them chirp. I'm going to stay nice and quiet as I walk through the area. I didn't even set my camera up right. If you're watching the video, I try to transition from a walking video to a me video, and I hope it gets my head or something in this, or it's even recording. I want to talk about fat people today, and because I represent them. And when you go into a store, a lot of times the guy will be like, "Hey, what's up, big man?" And he means, "Hey, what's up, you fat fuck?" He's just being offensive. And from this day forward, I'm not going to shop at stores where guys call me big man, or I'm going to start confronting the guys. What do you mean by big? Because I used to just ignore it, because you're like, ugh, everyone makes fun of you for being so fat. Why do you care so much? You're fat. I'm going to kill you. All right, the camera's, it tilts away. I think I actually just lost the battery on the fucking device here. Yeah, because it's kind of waggling along here. I might have to do some adjusting. But how do you feel about that, Are you fat out there? It's always a good question to ask people. Everyone feels so comfortable making fun of fat people, don't they? Ha ha ha, you fat shit. You're gonna die so young, you fat... That's always people's first fucking... Like when I talk to people who like say I'm not funny online, the first thing that... Have I talked about this already on the fucking podcast? But the first thing they jump to is like, you're gonna die, you fat shit, or something. Something like that. And it is funny. People feel so comfortable. I guess it's like when you're fat, you're just walking, you're like, yeah, I guess I do just eat a lot and not work out. I guess you're right. But I contribute so much more. I like it. Bring it on. Bring it on, everyone. I'm not worried. Do you think I'm worried standing here on the street looking around myself? I'm not worried at all. You'd think I'd be worried, but you have no idea. This is Matt. Not worried. I'm going to cross the street, continue it. How many times have you jaywalked in your life? Probably an infinite amount of times, right? Have you ever like crossed the road in a manner you're supposed to? right? At some point, you're just like jumping the gun. You're like a baseball player, and you're getting a step on the game. You're trying to beat the light. There's no cars. You're going across, obeying traffic rules. We don't. Who obeys rules? Bunch of shattered glass over here. Wonder what happened there. Perhaps that guy was dating glass. You know how people date glass nowadays? They're like rubbing their balls over the glass. He got so mad because another guy had done it to the glass and he ruined it, so he just smashed it. Do you think that's what really happens? There's so much a guy. You know how a lot of times people do these podcasts, they go up and they talk to people. They go, hey, let me talk to you. Hey. I'm doing the opposite. I'm trying not to talk to anyone. There's a Coca-Cola can here. Still haven't had a Coke in a long time because of the no caffeine. But basically, no fucking soda, which is good. Every now and then I'll throw a Sprite in the mix. I'll just shove a Sprite up my ass and be like, well, there you go. That's a little sizzle in the old Drano. That's what I call my asshole, the old Drano. I like to be very suspicious when I podcast. God, now my camera's going wild. I'm losing myself here. I got to come back to coordinates. This cannot be good for audio. It's kind of like a funny gag. You know how War of the Worlds, right? People thought the world was being taken over by aliens just because of the verbiage. So I'm describing what's going on, and you can picture how funny it is that the camera gets off tilt. See, something about weed is it does keep you paranoid at all times. You're always suspicious when you're I mean, that's not completely true, but that's one of the negatives. People don't always talk about the paranoia of weed. Other negatives, you want to do it all the time, Other negatives, it costs money. These are the truths about weed that you get in the cast. But one of them is paranoid. Yes, paranoia. What a fun feeling. It feels good. It feels right. You should be paranoid. The world's scary out there. Somebody's out to get you. You got to be watching your back wherever you go. Okay, so that ends the outside portion of the podcast. Now a little inside podcasting. I got a new chair. I might have to put a little WD-40 in it. It sounds squeaky, and I got it because I didn't want it to be squeaky. And I also got it because it pushes me forward. So now when I jerk off, I can come directly up my nose. Just force the cum. It goes whoop into my nose, goes up one nostril, falls out the other, and then right into a glass, and I put it as a syrup on a nice ice cream, and I give it to your mom, and she sucks it down, that whore. Okay, well, we're not all, expert wordsmiths like me. And I know I'm talking to myself right now, and I'm giving myself a lot of props, but I just love props, player props, gambling. All the normal stuff I talk about in the cast is here again on yet another episode. As I look around the table and find myself within myself. You are your own person. Love thyself. God, I have this thing of toothpicks. I like a nice toothpick. You stick it in your tooth when you got food in it. You can use it to clean out your weed things. I took out a bunch of toothpicks and I stabbed them all into the top of the toothpick case so I can easily pull them out. Do you think that's a good fucking cool? That's a life hack for you. You have all that? Hate to put that on the ground and step on that. Ouchie. Fucking ouchie right on your face. Your fucking foot. Ouchie Fauci. Ouchie Fauci indeed. Fauci. We all remember him. Fetchy. That would be a dog version. Fretchy is that's not a word. Regardless, we're all here. I had a topic I wanted to talk about, but now I just forget. I need you guys to send me in topics, but really don't. I'm probably not going to address it. That's up. That doesn't sound nice at all. No, I'll respond. If you reach out, I'll respond. I'll tell you. I'll tell you how I feel about things. I'm a thoughtful guy. If you've listened to the cast for long enough, you know I'm thinking about things. I'm worried about the world. I'm worried about how much plastic there is. So much fucking plastic in the water.
All the fish are dying. The turtles. The ecosystem's all fucked up. I'm worried about this. I want a clean world. I want a livable world for my children, my non-existent children. I want them to walk around, breathe in the air, and live a true American life. I want them to fire rifles into the sky, attack wolves, chase bulls on the vineyard, spank fucking cheeks, fucking cheeks of big-breasted ladies in the streets. I want them to live a big fucking American life, and we can't if we're constantly polluting. So this is my big anti-pollution cast. If we're gonna be polluting, I'm not rooting. Okay, I'm not rooting if we're polluting, highfalutin. If you're muting this, what are you dooting? Is what I'm saying. Honestly. Is there anyone better than me than this? At this or whatever? Everything I've said has been so correct. What, want to do another sex story? I'll tell you this one time. There was this lady, and I was like, we were going to just do all my sex stories. There was one time this lady, and we were going to like 69, but I was like, I was on top, which was wrong, and I started making a move, and I realized it wasn't going to work out. It was going to be too much. But like I hit the table, the table next to her, and then her glass of water fell and broke her laptop and phone. And then, she had to throw it in rice. I mean, it broke. And then we split it because it was a mutual effort. Is that a good was that the right thing to do, you think? Let me ask you, was that the right thing to do? And no, we didn't keep having sex. It ended, okay? Because there was a little, because once your big expensive electronics break, it's no more time for fucking. It's time for fixing. It's fixing time. That was one that was just like a call out of the blue. I was like, Maddie's here, and I'm showing up. Kissing and telling. What kind of fucking guy am I? But I always think if we keep it anonymous, then what is it? And you don't even know if I'm being real or serious. These could be made up stories at this point. I don't know why I'm always thinking about it. I'm always paranoid. I guess other people don't do podcasts. And then probably other people don't do them because they're worried about putting out too much personal information or hurting people's feelings. It's probably some people's worries. At least it's mine, because I'm a fucking morally righteous guy. Okay? Have you seen how morally righteous I am? You want to touch my big morally righteous dick. You want to slobber on my morally righteous knob, but don't you, audience? And get all my morally righteous cum in your face. Ugh, I get so silly on these. Okay, I'll be back. One sec. Can I tell you something that's not so silly? I was thinking about this. So I think they, with abortions, you can tell if someone's going to have Down syndrome. And it's, after the abortion, I guess you could see like, oh, this kid has Down syndrome. But no, you can figure out if someone has Down syndrome, and then you can get an abortion. So eventually there'll be no one with Down syndrome. But if you want a kid and you abort your kid because they have Down syndrome, aren't you saying that someone with Down syndrome has a lesser life, because you'd rather them not be that way? Is that morally cool? So I came serious. I'm coming serious to the cast. This is what I was thinking about. Like eugenics and abortion is what I wrote down. A very serious subject for everyone. Like if you can figure out like your intelligence of your kid, and you're like, oh, let's just abort the dumb ones and only keep the smart ones. But then you're just playing eugenics with your pussy. Is that okay? A little pussy eugenics? Pussenics? A little pussenics? What if we need dumb people? Or what if, the genetic variety is what keeps people alive. You know, we got to keep a biodiversity. This is all strong language. I'm a fucking genius. There was a famous scientist guy. I can't remember who the fuck it is. I want to say Al or something like that. Al, Paul, Jimmy Cossum, Jimmy Consume, Jombos. There was a guy that's basically saying what I said. Is his name Alan Watts? Is that a guy? Nobody fucking knows. Don't even tell me who it is. Nobody cares. But he basically said what I said about like, once we start having designer babies, then everyone's only gonna want their fucking the best baby, and then we're gonna weed out fucking dumb fucked up babies. But maybe we need the dumb fucked up ones. Is the idea. And I think that's a pretty cool idea. And do you all think that's pretty cool? Or are you all like, Matt, why don't you talk about fucking dicks? Talk about giant cocks. Look at this shaking. I don't know why. That's what you tell me. Hey, Matt, you should really talk about giant cocks over there. But the camera's shaking like this. I've shook my leg all my life. I shake my leg. It annoys everyone that's ever been around me. Growing up, my mom would always be like, yelling at me to stop shaking at the table. People tell me to stop. I'm just a fucking shaker of a guy. I know you're looking at me of this big, strong guy that can talk on the mic and has all this nice comedy and has a nice Mets shirt on. But I'm a fucking shaker. I'm a leg shaker. I got to admit it. But it feels like I'm losing weight. I'm trying to get a certain amount of steps in. When I shake, I feel like I'm getting extra steps. It's forcing me to do work with my legs. So get off my fucking shaking. Shaking your leg is fat exercise. It's top tier fat exercise, and we all know it, and we all love it. And we all want to lick those fucking fat thighs, put butter on them, and lick them down like the fucking cream legs, I call it. I'm gonna lick down those buttery fat legs, those fucking cream legs, and I'm gonna like it. Because I'm fucking Matt Miller, and this is my podcast. It feels like I'm trying to recreate, like, if you're looking at the video, like I'm trying to recreate a morning. It's nighttime, but the way the lights coming in is like, it's coming. It looks like it's coming through a window, which is kind of a fun effect that I know I can now recreate. If I ever want to do like a morning boy video where I'm just a boy in the morning, you understand, where I'm just like, I'm gonna have a little breakfast. I'm a morning boy. Have a little sausage, a little pancake, live a little life. I could do that. I have the setup. I'm fucking jacked up over here with technology. You wish you could live this technological life that I have. All right, I think I gotta do more of this cast at a different moment. I always have a certain amount of energy for these, but this one, I did have another topic I want to talk about. Was it another fucking jerk off thing? Let me check. And we're done. So this has been the Matt Miller Real podcast. Subscribe on patreon.com/Matt Miller Real. I don't even say my own name right. For more episodes. At Matt Miller Real Podcast on Instagram. Thank you. It's the Matt Miller Real Podcast. It's the Matt Miller Real Podcast.